In 1994, Marvel Films Animation and Fox Kids launched Spider-Man, the animated series. The show had exceptionally high ratings for Saturday mornings and is considered by many to be the best Spider-Man cartoon ever created. Toy Biz produced a line of action figures to accompany the premiere, including Doc Ock, Venom, and of course, Spider-Man. And today, we'll be taking a look at the web shooter Spider-Man here on Creed's Collection. Welcome back to another episode of Creed's Collection. Today we are looking at Web Shooter Spider-Man from the 1994 toy line Spider-Man the Animated Series by Toy Biz. Spidey is one of 7 figures produced for Series 1, which included 2 Spider-Man figures and 5 villain figures. Both Spider-Man figures had an action gimmick, and this one, as his name implies, shoots his web. The other would race across a web line. Now, I'm usually not that into action features. I would rather have a posable figure, but I have to admit, this is still a pretty cool Spider-Man. So let's dive in and take a closer look, and I can show you what I think works and what I think doesn't. The first thing that stands out is Spider-Man's head is not tiny, and his body is very well proportioned to him. It's easy to make Spider-Man too muscular or too skinny, and I think this one does a really good job of splitting the difference. His paint is still vibrant and clean, even though he does have a couple of little blemishes like that white mark on the back of his belt there. But overall, he looks great. His permanently attached web rope is in good condition, and it still has a little stopper on the end that keeps him from shooting out of the back of his arm. And speaking of his arms, I want to take a look at his hands. His left hand is molded into a fist, perfect for punching bad guys. And his right hand is molded into the web shooting position. Here it is with the web projectile in, and here it is with the web projectile out. The web projectile is essentially a small plastic missile. It clicks into place in the front of his wrist, and on the back side of the rope there is a little stopper, so when it does launch, it doesn't shoot the rope out completely. There's a small switch right here on the back of his arm, which is how you launch the web projectile. Then all you have to do is pull the rope all the way through and click it into place like so. Now when you go to launch it, I find if you hold the stopper against his back, it'll shoot a little bit farther. Alright, there we go, and here's another look at it. Not super effective, but it does shoot at about 4 inches. Now I'll go ahead and take a look at the articulation on Spider-Man. While he's not the most articulated figure in the world, he's not bad with knee and hip joints that bend at a 90 degree. It lets you put him in like a little lunge position like I have him now. His waist also has the swivel point. I really like that on action figures. Shoulders can rotate 360 degrees all the way around, and his joint at his elbow is a 90 degree bend. Head can look left and right, and his arm moves up and down over here, but it doesn't have an elbow bend like this side because of the web shooting mechanism. And even though this is limited for a Spidey figure, you can still get him in some good poses. You know, I wish I was Spider-Man. Spider can come bite me and give me spider powers. Never mind, I was just kidding. Never mind!
Just look out! Oh, Jesus! Die!
Okay, I'm back. So, where was I? Oh, right, okay. So, a hidden feature of this figure is that in addition to web shooting, he can web zip like the other figure. That's right, just hold the web taunt, put him like so, and there you go, web zipping action. On the back of Spidey's right leg is his copyright information, 1994 Marvel, and on the back of his left leg, Toy Biz Incorporated. A bonus collector's pin was included with this Spider-Man figure, and I may have it packed up somewhere, but I didn't take the time to look for it, so here's a picture of it. And now for our He-Man size comparison. This is actually a pretty stout Spider-Man figure next to He-Man. They're pretty close to being in the same scale, which honestly I didn't expect until I put them side by side. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy review for Web Shooting Spider-Man from the 1994 toy line, Spider-Man the Animated Series by Toy Biz. While he may not be the best or most articulated Spidey figure out there, and he does have a web shooting gimmick, which I'm not really in love with, he's still pretty great. I was actually surprised how many poses I could get him into. And I hope you enjoyed taking a look at this now 25-year-old figure. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And while you're at it, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it, and it would help my channel grow. I review a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday, so hope to see you next week and every week after, here on Creed's Collection.